Cleverly.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Government is grateful to the Foreign Affairs Select Committee for their inquiry and detailed report. We will consider the report very carefully and provide a written response on the timeline the committee has requested. The scale of the crisis in Afghanistan last year was unprecedented in recent times. The report recognises that the Taliban took over the country at a pace which surprised themselves, the international community, and indeed the former government of Afghanistan. Many months of planning for an evacuation and the enormous efforts of the staff to deliver it enabled us to evacuate more than 15,000 people within a fortnight under exceptionally difficult circumstances. The government could not have delivered an evacuation at that scale without planning, grip and leadership. The evacuation involved processing the details of thousands of individuals by the Ministry of Defence, the FCDO and the Home Office with staff in the UK and by teams on the ground in Kabul. In anticipation of the situation, the FCDO had reserved the Barron Hotel, so the UK was the only country apart from the United States to have a dedicated emergency handling centre where it could receive and process people in Kabul International Airport. RAF flights airlifted people to a dedicated terminal in Dubai, reserved in advance by the FCDO, where evacuees were assessed by other cross-government teams. They were then flown on FCDO-chartered flights to the UK, where they were received by staff from the Home Office and other departments who ensured they were catered for and quarantined. The evacuation was carefully planned and tightly coordinated throughout its delivery. As it does following all crises, the FCDO has conducted a thorough lessons learned exercise. We have written to the FCDO with the main findings of that exercise. Changes have already been implemented by the FCDO, for example, in response to the situation in Ukraine. We all regret that we were not able to help more of those people who worked with us or for us to get out of Afghanistan during the military evacuation. Since the end of the formal evacuation last summer, we have helped a further 4,600 people leave Afghanistan, and we will continue to work to deliver on our commitment to those eligible for resettlement in the UK through the ARAP programme and the Afghan Citizens Resettlement Scheme.
John Barron.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Last summer, Operation Pitting brought over 15,000 people to the UK from Afghanistan, and we all commend those who were directly involved on the ground in that operation. However, the recent report from the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, whose chair is sitting behind me, sets out that there was no comprehensive plan detailing actually who should come, how many, and in what order. And many, many people who should be in this country in safety are still in Afghanistan in fear of their lives. Now, one key example are British Council contractors who did not work directly for the government or indeed for the British Council, but still did their bit in promoting the English language, British culture, British values, and the Taliban do not see or recognise the difference. We have about 170 British Council contractors and their families in Afghanistan. Some, according to our own definition, about half of them, according to our own definition, are deemed to be at very high risk, with a further 93 or so deemed at high risk. They live in constant fear of their lives, many of them, moving from house to house as they are actively hunted by the Taliban. Now, I've had a positive meeting with the Refugees Minister last week, but we are finding ourselves coming up against constant FCDO red tape and bureaucracy, and this is preventing the FCDO from immediately proceeding with helping those greatest in danger through the ACRS scheme. It is bureaucracy our end. We've identified these individuals that are in danger in Afghanistan. Now, as somebody who opposed the morphing of the mission into nation-building in Afghanistan, I think I was the only Conservative to vote against it at the time when we had the opportunity. I particularly feel that the government owes these people a debt of honour. There is an obligation there to help these people. I appreciated the Prime Minister's answer to my question yesterday at PMQs. He said he was going to do something about this. But I've been raising this issue since November of last year. Since the fall of Kabul, they've been in danger. And my question to the government is, what undertakings can the government give that they will finally break this bureaucratic deadlock because time is running out?
Minister.
I thank my honourable friend for his question. I know he has communicated with me directly his passion on this issue, and I can assure him the government takes its responsibility to those who worked directly, but also indirectly, with us and for us, very seriously indeed. As I say, the Afghan Citizens Resettlement Scheme, the ACRS, was formally launched in January of this year. Will resettle up to 20,000 Afghans, including those who we know to be at particularly high risk of persecution from the Taliban, including directly the people he mentioned that work with us through the British Council, and also female Afghan politicians, other female judges, those people who have attempted through the time of our presence in Afghanistan to promote the values that we feel strongly about. I can assure him that we are working cross-government with Lord Harrington, who is responsible for the resettlement process or specialises for the resettlement process within government, to ensure that we can move as quickly as possible, but ensuring at all times that we create a system which is legally robust and that is right and that prioritises the people who are at risk, to whom we have a debt of honour.
Catherine West.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Foreign Affairs Select Committee report on the UK